Yo, 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 what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 428. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
So alone and feeling numb, out on the line, you're out of time.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo.
Brett Murdoch.
The singularity is imminent.
And Brian Manjoma.
What up, what up?
All right, people. Adam may show up later. He's watching WrestleMania. Has WrestleMania been going on all day? Like, people just...
weekend.
No, it's a 2-day event.
Oh, that's what I'm like. You motherfuckers been talking about this shit forever, you know?
You remember, you saw, what was it, Paris and
yeah, I know, I saw him, yeah.
Yeah, they went to WrestleMania. Day one.
That's crazy.
Day two.
That's wild stuff, man. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get into it. By the way, we did not get a lot of questions, so if you guys want to keep the show going, just ask those questions in the chat if you have more gaming questions. But let's start into it. We're going to start off with our boy, Mr. Michael Santiago, Toon Medic. Very controversial question, by the way.
Uh-oh.
All right, so the first question here is the new Zelda just $70 DLC? I thought the first one was a 10 out of 10, but this new one doesn't look different enough for me to get hyped about it. Uh-oh.
I like his point of view. Honestly, I've said it about other games too. It's like, yeah, you give me the same map, it's not a new same map, same engine, it's not a new game.
Yeah.
Well, that's the interesting thing with Zelda games. They've always kind of changed from iteration to iteration, like A Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, then Wind Waker, Majora's Mask, and all those. Like, they all feel like they're like their own games. But this one, I'm not going to go as far as to say it's DLC because I haven't played Tears of the Kingdom, so we'll see when it comes out. But yeah, it does look a lot like it's Breath of the Wild part 1.5 or whatever. But yeah, it is pretty visible that the resemblance between both games is just uncanny. It looks like it's just part of the same game.
Yeah, for obvious reasons. Obviously, the hardware can't handle it. But I'm gonna actually surprise people and say, even though, like Carlos, I agree with you, it's too early to say. I'm not really a fan of this kind of discourse. Like the whole, we heard this with God of War, right? Like, oh, Ragnarok is just DLC. No, it was its own full game. I'm going to assume this is its own full game too. I don't know about the map or anything like that stuff. So I'm gonna say no for now, but obviously we'll see. I mean, if this
I hope Blitz is here.
Yeah, I know he's there. He wasn't happy with the question. By the way, Blitz. Now I'm talking about Zelda because I purposely, for you, did not give my opinion on the new Breath of the Wild 2, whatever the fuck it's called, Tears of the Kingdom DLC during the Thursday show on purpose. I gave you a vacation, but now I'm talking about it. But I'm still not. Again, I'm not buying this game. I was very disappointed with the first one. I still think it's one of the most overrated games in recent memory, and I'm just done with Nintendo, man. I gave it the college try again with the Switch. You can't fault me for that. Wasn't for me. Nintendo is not a company that does things that I am a fan of. Releasing weak hardware, games I don't really care for. But you can't fault me for trying, But
it's not this particular thing that's...
But you like that Metroid game.
Metroid was dope. Mario Odyssey was dope, too. Those are two solid games that I will vouch for. But, yeah. Anyway, Brett, go on.
Let me just reframe the question a little bit, because I'll say the same thing I did about God of War. I'm not saying it is or it should have been a DLC, or Miles Morales, for that matter, but, like, just that it could have been. Right? Like, it did not need to be shipped as its own game. It had everything it needed to just kind of download it as DLC and run it as an extension of the old game. Now, it can be its own game if you want to judge it by, amount of content. That's why I say reframing, because when you say, should it be its own game or should it be a DLC, you have to call in all kinds of things like, well, how long is it? Does it have its own story? Is it a satisfying standalone experience? Like, there's all these things, but I think if you frame it as like, it could have been DLC. Like, I still feel like God of War could have been DLC. There's nothing making it necessary, at least like it was in the old days, where it had to be a separate release.
Yeah,
That was a choice.
Yeah, no, but are you done? By the way, I don't want to cut you off. If you're
Yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah, no, see, my problem with that is, and I'm Brett. You know me. I think you know what my problem with this question is, right? The should have part. That's a little too.
Yeah, that's why I say could have.
Yeah. I'm not comfortable going down that route. I'm going with what is delivered, right? Like, and the way I see it is like, if you give me a full game, right, that tells us, its own story, has its own, beats, own, maybe not gameplay mechanics, but something new. If it can exist separately from the main thing, and it's a large thing, game, like 60 hours or whatever, then I'm gonna say no, it's not DLC. 5 hour, yeah, that's DLC. But that's just the way I see it. If it's its own full game length, own story, not DLC. Anyway,
I think I use Call of Duty as my watermark. Like, Call of Duty is an annual game, which is somewhere between a DLC and a full-fledged release. It's just it's an evergreen thing. So if your title has less growth than the average Call of Duty game, I'm kind of in the mindset like, this could have been DLC.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying with the whole could have. It's just I personally don't like questioning that. I don't like that.
Well, that's why I'm not going down the should, because there's so many other factors in the should. But I think when you frame it as it could have been DLC, it kind of highlights why some people are disappointed because they didn't get anything new. Because a lot of people have this kind of intrinsic idea that a sequel or a follow-up should bring more to the table in just about every regard. If it just kind of brings more that's not necessarily improved upon, some people get a little pissy, myself included sometimes. Like, even with God of War, like, I didn't need a whole lot. Just, I really wanted you guys to tighten up the mechanics and fix some of the things that people had complained about during the last game, pull back the camera a little bit, god damn it. And so, like, that's where my beef came from. But I can absolutely understand where, if you can't tell me why this needed to be a different game, then maybe you're not giving your audience enough new stuff, is kind of the way I look at it.
Yeah. I want to read some comments here. To make it says, I guess look at any sequel on the same hardware and you could pretty much say it could be DLC, but that is a very shallow view. That's what
I mean, usually they do some sort of mechanical upgrade, even if they're running on the same engine.
Yeah.
Right?
And here's the thing, and obviously this may not be a good fit because DLC didn't exist back in the day, but think about the first 6 Mega Man games on Nintendo, right?
Okay, so let me ask you this then.
Yeah.
Why did everybody shit their pants over Fallout 76? With like, it's the same game. It's the same mechanics and the same hardware in a completely different map with a new multiplayer mechanic laid on it, but it's the same game. Like, why are we so inconsistent about this shit? It seems like it's one of those, like, if you like it, you're going to cut it more slack. If you don't like it, then you're going to find all these things out of it. But that's like, it's not consistent, man.
Yeah. When it comes to Bethesda, like, they're going to get a little more front. And by the way, for the record, I was not one of the people who said, "Oh, it's just the same game." I said, "This shit's online. No, thank you." That was my stance all the time. With Fallout 76, I'm like, nah, all online, nah, I'm good. Anyway, Carlos, go ahead.
I think Brett, the backlash for Fallout 76 is different from this because there's a couple of camps for that Fallout 76.
Well, there's lots to criticize in Fallout. I was talking about that one specific thing. Like, it had its own problems. Should have fucking launched with NPCs, man.
Yeah, there's the whole thing with it being a Fallout game with multiplayer. So people thought that it was going to be like a campaign co-op. Because everyone was expecting, the next Fallout installment to have co-op for the story mode, but it didn't have a story mode.
Yeah, it did.
Well, it did on DLC. Like you said,
no, it had its own full-fledged storyline with story beats that was over 40 hours long.
But let's be honest, Brett. It's not like a Fallout story like any of the previous ones. It might have had a semblance of a story, but it wasn't like the stories that the other Fallouts did.
It didn't have it didn't have DLC, or it didn't have NPCs. It didn't have like people you could talk to, and that was the big thing that killed it. But it actually had a surprisingly kind of in-depth story. I wouldn't say it's as robust as a normal Bethesda game was, but it was definitely bigger than most other story games I've played.
And then the second camp. Then those are the two biggest camps that I'm going to mention. That was the first one. The second one was the one with all the bugs. because
Oh yeah,
all the bugs came out, the issues, and people hit on it because it is a Bethesda game. Anytime Bethesda does a buggy game, it's gonna get a lot of flack, a lot, and that was primarily the biggest blow and the biggest backlash to the game.
yeah, and I think those are both valid criticisms. But there was a lot of talk about people being really disappointed that it was the same graphic, the same engine. There wasn't an upgrade. They expected it to be
that existed. Yeah, that existed.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, it's. I have trouble understanding when people are like, this game isn't upgraded. It's just basically more Fallout 4, and I'm upset about that. When you had a new gigantic world, right? Like, that to me is a difference. Like, for me, what it comes down to is I start getting upset when you reuse the same world. Like, it's bad enough if you use a ton of the same assets, but if you give me the same map over again, I'm like, okay, now we're getting a little fucking ridiculous. If it's the same map, you could have told another story in the same map pretty easily. Ballad of Gay Tony is a perfect example.
Yeah, that was a great.
Or Miles Morales.
Yeah, Miles Morales. Yeah,
That was
right.
Yeah. I feel like it's like the games that were the like upgrade, like like essentially DLC, like First Light, like officially that was a DLC. That was not considered. It's a full game, like Miles Morales or any of the other ones that use the same maps over again.
Yeah, which is interesting because First Light and Miles Morales are kind of the same length.
They are pretty much the same length.
This is me just talking bullshit right now, but like I'm pretty sure had that game First Light come out on PS5, they would have called it a full game. I think that's the only reason Miles Morales. I think that's the only reason Miles Morales got called a full game because they needed something. That shit's DLC. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Yeah.
I will say at least Miles Morales was cheaper for a full game.
Yes,
it was still too expensive in my opinion, but not full price, like $70 price tag kind of thing.
Yeah.
What was the price of Miles Morales? Was it 40 or 50?
I thought it was 40. I could be wrong.
It was 40, right?
I think it was 40. Yeah.
Yeah. So I understand Brett's opinion on that one. It could have been it could have been $30 for me. 40 was still worth it because I really enjoyed it. But yeah, it definitely was more in the DLC part, even though it was a little bit of an expanded DLC, but it was by no means a full-fledged game.
Yeah. All right. Any more thoughts on Tears of the Kingdom DLC? Chris, you got any thoughts on this?
Well, I agree with what you said. I think there's enough seems story beats and that they added enough to the map where I would think it would count as its own game. I mean, they are recycling a lot of Hyrule, but honestly, if this comes out and you paid $70 for it, and it just seems like they didn't do much after 6 years, and that's shameful for them. Like, I give them the benefit of the doubt, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. All right.
Is it just a quick question to the people in the group. I did hear, and to the panelists of the Throwdown Show, I heard that there was someone mentioned that there wasn't any shrines to be seen on the map. Is that true? Like, because I know shrines for me was the best part of the game, of the previous game.
It looks like they got rid of them. Well, I mean, just from what he showed, that 10 minutes of gameplay that just came out, there's none of the Sheikah Towers and the shrines. There's none. They don't.
Wow, that was the best part of the game. What the fuck?
Unless they added them and they're in the Sky World. I don't know. I didn't. When he was riding around and showing the map, they're not there where they were in the old game. So
interesting. I guess we'll see. All right. Let's move on here. Mob hits. All right. Should PlayStation have a dedicated studio handling all of its PC ports to prevent shit shows like The Last of Us? Oh, man. This might be by ignorance, but I thought they did.
No, they didn't. It was Iron Galaxy.
Interesting.
It was the same people that did Killer Instinct, and they actually did some previous PC ports for PlayStation. Like I mentioned the last time, Mr. Adam Boyes is head of Iron Galaxy. Yeah, also Gio Corsi works there too.
Oh boy. So yeah,
they're former Sony people.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess the question stands: should Sony have a dedicated studio for its PC ports?
Yeah.
I think so. Yep. I think so. Maintain that consistency and quality.
It feels weird that they don't.
Here's the thing. In a lot of cases, the companies handle their own. A lot of the companies handle their own PC ports. Like Kojima Productions handled their own PC port. They didn't hand it to somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, but in some cases they do just give it to third parties or something.
They hire a third party to do it. Like I think Iron Galaxy also did Returnal as well.
Did they?
I think they did that one too.
Let me look this up. But they did a good job with that, apparently.
What?
No, actually, they didn't.
Really?
Did we forget that I couldn't finish the game?
PC port, Brett.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
okay.
no, the PC port had issues, so it didn't run at 60 frames per second and a bunch of other things. So, yeah, I don't think they. I think they also did that one as well.
Yeah. Oh, Eurogamer says it was fine for the most part. Literally, I'm quoting them right now. Who did it though? I want to know who. I want to know who ported this shit. Anyway, yeah. Sony needs to have a dedicated studio to ensure quality of these things because it's inconsistent. Moving on here. He asked us which Capcom franchise needs a remake treatment, but we've answered that in the past. Next question here. Could a developer... Oh boy, Brett, get ready. This one, I want you to answer first. Could a developer... could a developer use AI to have a voice actor reprise their role without the actual actor? For example, Kevin Conroy continuing to be Batman. Would this be a bad look?
It depends. To be honest, it depends on the the deal that Kevin Conroy did signed with the company. If they could use his voice after the fact, or his family agrees to it. Thing is, it's not just a matter of like, yes, you can totally have these things duplicate people's voices, but using them on a physical product and saying it's them. That's a no-no, a serious fucking no-no.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, I don't think they do that though.
I mean, after for those of you who don't remember, years ago there was a big controversy with Paula Abdul, I think, Coke commercial where they had her dancing with Fred Astaire, and that called into question a huge thing because they did not contact the estate of Fred Astaire and they just pulled him out of a film and then put him put him into the sequence. That's the problem, and they made a lot of rhetoric to essentially protect the likenesses of actors after they have passed away for any of this stuff. But like situations like Mark Hamill actually did sign a deal with Disney that they could use his likeness and his voice in perpetuity. So long after he has died, he will probably continue to be Luke Skywalker.
Oh, shit.
And they can say it's him.
Yeah, I think you're right. If they just don't get permission, that's a bad look. But if they have permission, then fine.
Yeah, if they've already like for let's see what's his name, Tarkin, right? For Tarkin, he obviously never signed any sort of agreement like that. However, they contacted Peter Cushing's family to get the likeness rights and to do that version of him, to do that CGI version of him in Rogue One.
Yeah. By the way, Climax Studios or Climax Games seems to be the one that helped with the PC port of Returnal.
With The Last of Us?
No, Returnal, yeah. It also seemed like House Mark was involved as well with the PC port. So, all right.
So, cool. I was wrong.
Yeah, here it is. So, yeah. Climax Games developed it or did the PC port with assistance from House Mark. So, there you go.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so no Iron Galaxy involvement there. Right, Brett, what's your thoughts on this AI stuff? Because I know you're a proponent of AI.
I think it's doing some really interesting stuff. I'm coming at it from a different place. Like, I I'm not really worried about the rights. I feel like that stuff has already started to be sorted out with.
It's already been sorted out as far as rights and stuff like that when it comes to the likenesses of actors and actresses.
Yeah,
so
some people are going to trip it up, but I don't think that that's going to be the biggest moving part. And I actually think that we're probably going to see the emergence of, like I said before, of studios who actually own the rights to people. And the reason it doesn't matter that much to me is because I don't think the copyrights to things is equal to the morality of things. Like, I think that there will be people that really take advantage of people who are down in their luck or at the end of their lives or grieving family members to buy the lifetime rights of a lot of artists. And I think that's going to be somewhat predatory. So I think we're going to kind of see a divergence from ethics / morality and copyright pretty soon. In terms of how do I think it's going to be received by the internet, I don't think it's going to be received real well. It doesn't seem to really even matter the quality of something sometimes as much as the effort. Like, if you come up with something really good and you didn't try, it doesn't matter that it's really good. We're already seeing some of that in AI stuff where it's starting to do a really good job in certain places and everybody's kind of like, oh, it's AI, it's low effort. But I think it's going to get to the point where it's going to be harder and harder to tell when it's AI and when it's not, because we're going to start to see AI used as more of kind of the bottom level. We're going to see highly curated things where an AI is going to start things and then a human's going to be in control of them. So it'll filter out, like, think of it like AI does the art and then artists go back and fix the hands. Like, that's going to kind of be how the symbiosis goes. So I think the less upfront they are about and it's fine. It's expected to go in and people will appreciate, you're like, oh, I can just talk to my companion, like I would a person back. I actually just saw a game that was released. I think I shared the Throwdown chat, but it was a kind of noir murder mystery game done completely with a microphone and AI. Like, there were not pre-written lines necessarily. You just interacted with everybody by talking to them as you would a person. It is janky and low effort and kind of cheap looking, but it's kind of a proof of concept. So I think people will be okay as long as they get something out of it. If they see companies just cutting corners and be like, oh, we AI generated all of our
we're just talking about voice acting for now. Like, we're not really talking about whole virtual worlds and things like that.
Well, no, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I can only use, like, art is a little bit further ahead, so I'm kind of using it as a precedent. But like, when AI voices something, I'm assuming we're not going to be tagged to the script anymore. So if they use a likeness of an AI just to replace an actor, I don't think it's a good look, and I don't think people are going to go for it. But if they say, well, we have to do this because we're not tying you to dialogue trees anymore, we're giving you unlimited options, then people will be like, oh, well, okay, well, that makes sense.
I don't mean, here's the thing, like, if people seemed okay with the digital Governor Tarkin in Rogue One, and people were okay with bringing back Princess Leia, with a lot of this is very similar sort of situations to having Kevin Conroy perpetually play Batman forever.
Yeah, but I don't think they would.
But the thing is, I don't think people didn't get angry at it a lot. In both cases, they were done very, what do they call it?
Respectfully.
They were done very respectfully to both of them. So
yeah, but that's posthumously done. Like, what about when they start replacing living voice actors? Like, yeah, if you do it to, like,
well, I mean, they've already done it, dude. Mark Hamill was replaced by himself from 40 years ago. In The Mandalorian, it was it was his voice.
Oh yeah, in both of them actually. Both of them.
Yeah, in Boba Fett, and he was replaced by himself. They essentially trained a computer to draw his face on top of another actor, and they also trained it to talk like him. That's what I was talking about, where they essentially said, okay, we're going to, again, he signed that contract that said, okay, you can use my likeness for perpetuity to create Luke Skywalker, so I'll always be Luke Skywalker even long after I'm dead.
Yeah, but that's not what I mean though. Like I mean when
That's the question that's the question he's asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I okay. I've already answered that bit. I was like, after they're dead, sure. But when we get to the point where they're replacing live ones, no, not anymore.
And they've already done that. Also, not to mention, James Earl Jones was not playing Darth Vader in the recent Obi-Wan series. It was an AI trained voice. It wasn't him at all. So yeah.
Did he voice the remake of Lion King?
Yes, he did, and he sounded old, right?
Yeah.
That's the issue. That's the issue there, where he's essentially he sounds like he's lost all the bass in his voice. He sounds like an old man.
Yeah. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, as long as they use it for things where it's necessary, I think we're fine. When people can't do the roles that they used to, or they're not alive anymore, I think we're fine.
Yeah. To be honest, here's a case point where you can think of where you could possibly use an AI voice to replace an actor. Okay, so if you don't know, to pay an actor to do a voice and to have them actually act is two different. And their likeness rights are three totally different things. You end up paying an actor a lot more for doing a full performance. So if you want Norman Reedus to be in your thing, you hire Norman Reedus and you pay him his full rate. If you want Norman Reedus to do just the voice, that is less. If you want just his likeness rights, that's also less. So, like, if you remember those Walking Dead games, right? They had Norman Reedus in there, but he wasn't playing himself. It was a sound-alike. That means that they got the rights to his likeness, but they didn't want to pay. Obviously, they couldn't afford to pay to get the real Norman Reedus to voice himself. So, flip that around. Now, you could theoretically, and if I don't know if there's any sort of rhetoric for this. Theoretically, you could train AI to talk like Norman Reedus, and then you can get then possibly you can get the rights to have it talk like him. But I don't know how that's going to work. That's a whole different can of worms right there.
Yeah.
So Brian, you can get him, or you can get the AI duplicate.
Yeah, Brian, you gonna say something?
No.
All right. I thought I heard you.
That's probably me.
Okay, go ahead, Carlos.
The interesting thing with all of this is when it comes to video game corporations and movie studios and all that stuff, I feel like it's a lot more smoother there because, they can be held accountable. Let's say 10, 20 years from now, Disney releases a Star Wars movie with, Luke Skywalker with goddamn, what's his name?
Mark
Hamill.
With Mark Hamill's AI controlled voice acting and his face, everything. Well, they can be held accountable by the estate pretty easily because it's a big, studio movie and stuff like that. But for things like let's just say Adam's kid releases a book report at school.
Uh-oh.
And it's like presented by Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker or something like that, talking about the story of Star Wars or the history of Star Wars. That's a lot of stuff like that, and and obviously other stuff within that's not released like this is not going to be held to check that much. We've already seen it with what do you call that face swap thing?
What do they call it? Deep fake.
Deepfakes. Yeah, we're seeing that with deepfakes a lot. So it's going to be interesting how this stuff's going to be policed because the web can be a crazy place where a lot of stuff can happen, and if it's not held in check, a lot of people can suffer from this. Likeness and stuff like that. Then not even just dead people, living people that are not giving permission to use their likeness, their voice, their face. can be manipulated.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of litigation happening in the future. You know.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, yeah, there's definitely is stuff to protect actors and actresses, while they're, now. But yeah, like, what about additional things in the future? Like, again, like independents doing something crazy.
Yeah.
Because remember, there's no checks and balances for homeboy doing some training on the internet. They're not what's his Tom Cruise is not sending what are those guys Corridor Digital a cease and desist for using his likeness and voice to create a Tom Cruise clone, Tom Cruise sketch on their thing.
Oh man. All right, moving on here. Dumeke. Okay, so his question was who hates April Fools, but that's not a video game question. So I'm changing it. It's my prerogative as the host of the show. What is the best video game April Fool's joke / what is the worst video game April Fool's joke you've ever seen? Manny, what was it? Was it an EGM that they did, like, what's his face? That fake ninja
Shenlong?
Yeah, Shenlong.
Yeah.
That's the first one that I remember.
Yeah.
Game Enforcer. That's what it was. I'm thinking about. Remember they used to do that. They may still be doing that. Who knows? Where it was like every April they would do just like the craziest, fakest game news and stuff. But yeah, the first one I remember was Shenlong. It's like, here's the code to unlock Shenlong in Street Fighter 2, and motherfuckers like us thought it was real.
Thought it was well. I mean, you see the screenshot, and obviously the screenshot's tiny, but you see the screenshot happening. You see all the stuff there, and you're thinking, "Oh shit!" And then back in those days, they did preface it that it was a fake thing.
No, they didn't.
They did have it. They didn't preface it any of that with any of the "this is fake" shit.
Nope.
Until like after that, because everybody was trying that stuff after.
Yeah, we all were trying it. Man, remember the guy said, "Yeah, I got it to work. You motherfucking liar!
Yeah,
you didn't get it to
liars,
work."
Man. No, man, I did every fatality. No,
yeah,
you didn't.
You didn't.
To answer the question real quick, the actual question is getting out of fucking hand because it's so fucking mainstream now. To change it back to gaming, shout out my favorite will always be the Zelda IGN live action reveal.
Oh shit! Yes,
that looked legit. Everyone like was losing their minds.
Yeah, I remember that.
So shout out to that one. But April Fools can fuck off.
I'm speaking about that, since we are talking about April Fools, I am so glad it happened on a weekend this year.
On a weekend, yeah. I was
like, okay, because the thing is, like, normally, and I'm saying this as a reporter, I'm like, oh fuck. Like, I don't know what to trust today. I got to report on shit. And you see the most salacious headlines, like, oh, that normally you'd be like, write that shit, Mm-hmm. So yesterday I'm like, all right, no Twitter for me today. That was it. It was simple. So to me, this year, April Fools was fine. Although they did start off with some dude posted like God of War collection coming to PS5, all the games. I was like, all right.
Yeah, there was that. There was also there was fun April Fools things like the Sonic the Hedgehog mystery game where you actually you have to figure out who killed Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, that was fun. And then the other one, Brett, you posted this. Sony thinking about buying Tesla to counteract the Activision deal. That was a good one.
I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, that was a good one. Chris, what else did you see? Or, did you see any this weekend, and what were your favorite of all time?
Oh, well, the Shenlong thing is the top one because I remember my cousin was one of those guys like, oh, I used the code. I'm like, no, you didn't. That's fucking bullshit. But I downloaded the visual novel. Sega actually made a real thing. I thought it was just BS, and it's like, oh no, go download it on Steam. I'm like, no, this shit is here. Yeah, so I give them full credit for that they actually made. It's not like a full game, but like they did a little visual novel. It's like for people who hate Sonic the Hedgehog, he's fucking dead.
Oh man, good stuff. All right, anybody else?
There was the Metal Gear Solid 4 one, which ended up being a real one, where you could dress like Altair. You could dress Snake as Altair in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. One of my favorites is remember the April Fool's joke, like, oh, Yakuza is going to become a turn-based RPG, and then it became real. Because remember, that was an April Fool's joke, you know?
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious. Dumeka says, April Fool sucks for people in my part of the world as we get our BS and then the next day we get US onslaught. Yo, Dumeka, did you like mine? Did you like mine? But for you,
man.
For you guys who didn't see it, I just tweeted out, I love Nintendo, you know?
I replied with Hella pushing over the what do they call it? The Infinity Gauntlet, saying "fake."
Yeah, yeah, and then today people like came like, "Yo, it's a true, and I posted the gif of DS9. It's a fake, Good stuff. But I didn't get as much like traction as I thought I would. But then again, if you say you love something on Twitter, you will not get as much of a response as if you say you hate something. That's just the way it is.
That's true.
So if you said I hate Mass Effect, then everybody like, yo man, what the fuck?
Yeah. Although I would hope that if I ever tweet that, motherfuckers would be like, okay, that's not Tony. They'll I profess my love of Mass Effect all day, every day. But yeah, good times, man.
Or you say something like you loved Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah, that's how you know. Yeah. Oh, by the way, some people who don't know me very well, they thought I was being genuine. Yeah, Nintendo's great. I love them too. Like, you fucking dumbass. I gotcha. Man, good times. Yeah, April Fool's is all right.
I will mention something to Blitz. The April Fool's has become so mainstream that we're getting the stuff pre-planned, like from your neck of the woods. So it's going both ways.
Oh shit. Yeah, because I remember, and this is not a new thing. It's been happening for a while, where like April Fool starts the day before, and then kind of spills over. Like, guys, chill, one day.
It's the Kiwis and the Aussies, man. I'm like, yo, chill. Wait until it's the first over here.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, shout out to them though, man. Good people. All right, moving on here. Oh, by the way, again, even though we're doing pretty good right now when it comes to time, but if you do have any gaming questions, let us know. But so far, so good. Next up, Kiss Shack. Ooh, this one's a little spicy. Right. When rumors about a possible third Last of Us surface, I saw a lot of people complaining. All I got to say is, fuck you and the high horse you're riding on. Damn. And he brings receipts. There's been 10 Resident Evils, 12 Assassin's Creeds, 95 Final Fantasies, 29 Zeldas, 200 Marios, but God forbid Naughty Dog makes a third Last of Us. Are developers suddenly not allowed to make what they want? Wait, are developers suddenly not allowed to make what they want or not? By the way, I didn't hear this rumor. I'm guessing it's a fucking April Fool's joke.
All right, let me ask this question.
Go ahead, Brett.
How many times has Resident Evil 2 released?
Twice.
How many times has Last of Us 2 released?
Once.
Three times. If you think about it, Last of Us 1, right? The first one.
Oh, no, you said Last of Us 2.
No.
Last of Us 2.
No, Last of Us 2 only once. So far.
Oh no, I guess let's go with The Last of Us.
Yeah, 3. The original one, the remaster, and the remake. Yeah,
3 times. Like, in how many years? I think that's the problem. Is not so much like if they made a new Resident Evil, or if they made a new Last of Us 3 and didn't milk it for a decade, I think that'd be okay. I think people are just kind of sick of like, oh, cool. So like, you run out of remakes, so you're going to make this, and then you're going to release all of the games again. They've just kind of spent their goodwill. Sorry, that's how it is.
Yeah, I feel like the discourse on The Last of Us, and this is both directions. It's either it's the greatest thing, or I can't even say that it's a okay game, but I have to trash it. That's all the discourse is for this game.
Yeah,
as someone that's kind of stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
As someone that's stuck in the middle of this whole situation, where I'm like, The Last of Us 2 was a pretty good game. Did I feel like it was the greatest game ever made? No. But can I talk about it with anyone without, just talking to someone that's going to hate it or someone that's just going to say that's the best game ever? Not really. So that's where I'm at with that game.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about the fucking Last of Us anymore. To be honest, it's too much now, and I think that maybe that's why people were complaining, because it's just in your face all the time now. You know, you got the remake, you got the TV show. You know, it is kind of annoying. But again, if you like The Last of Us, you're probably not seeing a problem with it. You know. But I do agree in general about the fan base. I be honest, that's part of the reason I don't like the franchise as much as, because I thought the first one was good, despite just being another zombie game. But when the second one came out, the fans just got so annoying. I just don't like the franchise anymore, mainly because of the fans. You know, they're just terrible. You know, so yeah. So, but I already said I'm done with the franchise. If they release a third one, cool. Let the people enjoy it. I just won't be indulging. So yeah, whatever. But I do see your point about, like, hey, these games release a million other entries. How come this one's getting shit? But I think the reason is because it's so visible at the moment, you know. But your point stands about the just the sheer numbers, you know.
It's technically been released 4 times now.
Oh shit!
Are people
you're
really
right. You're right. PC. You're right.
Well, and it had a show.
Yeah. Oh shit. 5. You know. Go ahead, Brett. What were you gonna say?
So,
I mean, I don't really think that a lot of people are going to be super against a new Last of Us, and if they do, that's just honestly fucking ridiculous. Like, let people have their fun.
Yeah.
I'm in the weird place of the discussion. I was like, look, I think I just found out Last of Us is not for me, but they seem to do quality work, and you know, they seem like good games. It's just not my wheelhouse, man.
Yeah. People want to keep playing them. Go ahead. You know.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just kind of reminds me of, like, you know, when people are like, it feels to me like the same way when people say people need to make Souls games have an easy mode. I'm like, quit fucking with other people's fun. Go do your own thing, man.
You know.
If you don't like this thing, then go to another party.
Yeah. No, I agree. You know. All right. All right. Black Metal Gamer. The first question he asked here is, which trash game should get a remake? But we've answered that in the past. Next question. Who are your... Oh, this might... We got to talk about the controversy surrounding this one, too. Like, Chris, I think this question just might be for me and you right now. Who are your favorite / least favorite new voice actors in Resident Evil 4 Remake?
Oh, well, the least favorite right now is whoever's
Ada
playing
Wong.
Ada. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
you saw about that, right, on Twitter. Holy shit. But anyway, you know, let's talk about this question first, and then we'll get to the controversy. Anyway, go on. Yeah, Ada
so
Wong's not good. I agree with you. She's not good.
Yeah, I mean, she just sounds bored, but
Yeah.
Hey, Leon. How's it going?
no life. I don't know why they got rid of the chick from the RE2 remake.
I know why.
They kept her.
I know why.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
too blonde.
Oh,
too-
damn.
White, you know.
And the guy who plays Leon, he does a good job. He's you know, he kind of sounds a little bit the same. I wish he had a little more gravitas in this one. He sounds more serious, but he doesn't sound like this is a guy hardened by life, too much. But he does a good job. The guy who played the Duke in Village, he plays the merchant. He does a good job.
Yeah.
Ashley, whoever does that, she's it's no Sandy Cheeks, but she has her own charm. So she's doing a good job. Yeah, my only problem was Ada. I was like, man, this chick sounds bored. You know, it was just like, well, I got work today. All right, wait, what's my line?
Hey,
Sorry.
Leon,
where's
they
my
got
money?
me on.
Give me my money. You know.
I had no problem with anyone else in the game. Like everyone did a good job.
Mr. Kennedy.
Yeah, even that guy. I don't know who did Salazar now or originally, but the guy who's doing him now, it sounds like him. He sounds like a little, a tiny little man with the fucking little man syndrome with a
I miss
weird
his
accent.
hat.
Yeah. The robot has the hat. It's funny enough. He don't have the hat on though. He's got a powdered wig. He's fancy.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I like the voice actors for the most part. But yeah, Ada is it's a problem, you know. But what happened is, you know, we're not the only ones who feel that she wasn't a good actress. And some people took to her Instagram to give her shit. That's something we do not condone.
No.
So
Don't
she,
do that.
yeah, so she deleted her Instagram account.
Oh shit!
Yeah, because she was getting, yeah, she was getting so much hate. She's like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. So that's fucked up, you know.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Don't do that. That's
guys.
not cool.
Yeah.
Just because listen, you can not like what she did as an actress, but don't go fucking at her for that. She ain't gonna go fix it after the fact. It just is what it is. Just you know.
So like y'all are always batting 100% at your fucking jobs.
Yeah, you know.
Well,
Exactly.
and
To
also,
her, it's
if-
a job. So chill out.
Also, if the people in charge thought she was doing a bad job, they would have told her.
Yeah,
That's right.
They thought
Yeah, how about you complain to Capcom, you know?
My guess, one thing is my guess is that she is also sort of more of a known actress, and I feel like a lot of times with people who are more actors, actors than voice actors, a lot of times those things don't come across when they do voices. So it's like what's his face? The guy from Game of Thrones.
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage, like his board reading of all that stuff from Destiny. I feel like he's more of a physical like actor. His acting is in his face and his body than it is in his actual voice. And I think that's the same for a lot of actors who haven't been trained to do voices or know how to do voices.
Yeah. Let me read this real quick. This from PC Gamer. Her performance, her name is Lily Gao, by the way. Her performance in Resident Evil 4 hasn't been well received by fans who filled her Instagram comments with insults. Gao disabled comments on her account and then either hid or deleted all her posts except for one. Fucking dumbasses, man. What the fuck is wrong with you? It's an actor. Like, she's doing her job. What the hell is wrong with you? You know?
Exactly. That
idiots,
doesn't,
man.
Just because you don't like something, that means you have to go after somebody for that thing. Thing is, you could just be like, oh, complain on your whatever space, whatever like that. Just do that. Don't go after that person though.
Look, I gotta read some of these fucking dumbass comments. You ruined the remake. I feel like I just wasted my money. Your voice acting was horrible. Wow. Your voice acting was horrible in the RE4 remake. It sounded like super stiff and there was nothing seductive about it. Okay, bruh. It didn't fit at all. Oh my God, I hope they don't hire you as Ada's voice actor for another game. They wouldn't be saying this shit to her face, though. You know?
No, they wouldn't.
Yeah, fucking, that's disgusting, man. What the hell is wrong with people? They take this shit way too seriously,
The game, relax.
Yeah, relax, man.
I mean, leave the criticism for the fucking forums, not to the person's personal.
Yeah,
accounts.
that's what I'm saying, man. I mean, do they even have forums anymore? Shit.
Like Reddit. I mean,
Yeah, but you're right. It's like, leave that there again. She's just doing her job. It's like we don't think she did a good job, but it's not worth. You shouldn't harass people under any fucking circumstance. We've said this many, many times. At all, like full stop. Don't do that shit. That's fucking bad.
Yeah.
Shat goes, cool. They wouldn't know how to talk to women at all. I mean, yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. Fucking, they don't seem to know how to talk to people in general. Fucking dumbasses, man. All right, moving on here. Another one from Black Metal Gamer. Who's the better flute guy, the Ghost of Tsushima flute guy or the VGA 2022 flute guy? Who reigns as the king of fluting?
Well, it depends. It depends on the fluter because the VGA guy, he does Western fluting and stuff like that. Yeah. But the Ghost of Tsushima, he does Japanese fluting. The white guy that was on the stage that everybody went after. Remember that guy?
Well, you got to give the VGA guy like his soulful performance. That's what people picked up on. It wasn't his quality of playing. It was just the energy this man was putting out there, right? He could have been playing recorder like shit, and you're like, wow, this guy's into it.
No, that guy's a character. By the way, that guy works a lot with what's his face? I forgot the name of the composer. He did I can't remember. He did the like one of the Batman films. He did the Nolan Batman films and the Sherlock Holmes movies. So yeah, he works a lot with that guy.
Cool. I don't know. Like, which one of these guys is actually more talented than the other? You know.
Well, he said actually did he say Jin Kasai or the Japanese the Japanese flute guy?
He just said Ghost of Tsushima flute guy.
Oh, okay. So it's probably it's probably the one that we saw on the stage.
Yeah.
I don't know, because the guy from Ghost of Tsushima flute guy, he is actually like the leading Japanese flute player in the world. Like he's literally respected by Japanese people, right? The other guy, he
just has character, you know.
He has character.
Yeah. I'm gonna say they're both winners. There you go. You know, they both won me over. Oh man. All right, moving on here. The last question of the night. He changed his name is Matt Wheaton, but Mad Dog Wheaton. I like that. Have any of you guys played Armored Core? If you have, what would be your favorite entry in the series or entries in the series?
I have
to be honest, maybe like the first PlayStation 2 version of it. That was one of those cornerstone like games that, hey, this is what you need to buy a PlayStation for. I saw that. I played that, but I mean, I can't really say which is my favorite because that's pretty much the only one that I ever played.
Yep, I've never played these games, so I do not have anything to add to this conversation. Has anybody else played these Armored Cores?
Yeah,
I have, but
an
it's been
Armored
so
Core.
long they all blend together, to be real honest with you.
Oh, really?
I don't even remember what the game was like.
Oh, shit. Are they like Dynasty Warriors or all the same? I don't know.
Well, kind of. I want to say 3 was my favorite.
They sort of, it's weird. They reached a sort of precipice and they just kept doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Like they reached that high point and then they never were able to top it. And all it did was just go further and further down the stairway.
So yeah, Dynasty Warriors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never play these games. I don't have any comments. All right. I guess Adam did not join us for this episode. Oh, we got another question from Blitz. Let's go. With The Last of Us 2 being a hit and the Mario movie looking to be great, going by premiere feedback, what do you predict will be the next big video game related TV movie hit? Ooh, okay. Ooh, Mighty Nerd with a question. We will answer these questions. All right. So anyway, what do you think is going to be the next big hit video game adaptation?
I'll say God of War.
Oh, interesting.
Because I feel like it's got that uniqueness about it, as opposed to like something like because I was thinking between God of War and Gears of War, because we know those two for sure are going to get live action adaptations, and Gears is kind of like that macho military kind of man, kind of actiony type thing, which does have an audience, but I feel like God of War has a lot of that historical aspect stuff that I feel could go well. But yeah, other than that, I can't really think of anything else.
Again, this is all predicated on if they do it right. Like, yes, I know that Last of Us exists, but the history of video game adaptations has not been good, so I'm always skeptical. But if they do it right, and that's a TV series, by the way, I think it would work better. Mass Effect, I think that could be really good if done right. That would be a really good. Think about it like this, right? Mass Effect 2 is basically a season of a sci-fi show, right? You have your overarching plot, and then you have all these little sub-stories in between, So I think Mass Effect would be a really good TV series if done right, But again, video game adaptation, so you got to, be careful, I think.
Give Guillermo del Toro God of War, man. He'll knock it off the park.
You'll imagine Mass Effect on HBO. That shit'll be crazy.
Mass Effect on HBO. Yep. I can see that.
Hey, give Mass Effect to the Expanse people.
You could, yeah, you could.
Brett.
All right, what about Fallout?
Yeah, I was about to say,
Yeah,
Brett.
Fallout.
you mentioned
They
this week.
are making Fallout. Yeah, so there you go.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like Fallout can work.
It could. That could be the next big hit. What do you think, Brett? That's in production.
I'm concerned.
Oh,
As well,
I knew it.
Well, I mean,
as well you should
Yeah,
be.
yeah,
As
you
well
should be, yeah.
So it's a fucking video game adaptation. You should be.
Well, I mean, the part of the charm of Fallout, and I don't think a lot of people got this when they were trying to rip it off, is kind of the goofy aspect to it. Like, you can't take it too seriously. It almost has to be that kind of Marvel level of serious, where it's serious but not serious, and there's ridiculous shit in there for no goddamn reason. Like, I think that they're doing a good job of that, but I don't know, man.
Yeah,
It's going to be really interesting to see if they can capture that, because it's that kind of horror comedy, violence, Mad Max thing. Like, it's a great combination. It's going to be really difficult to pin for somebody who's not a longtime fan of the franchise. And as we can see with things like The Witcher, those people are kind of forced out. Somebody's going to do something to make Fallout unique and ruin it. But then again, I guess Last of Us is a pretty good beat for beat. So.
Well, I think that's because Last of Us was already adapted for a modern audience. So I think you just need to factor that into things.
Yeah.
No, anything that needs to be updated for a modern audience won't work well. Anything that's already updated for a modern audience, well, it's going to be fine.
True. Here's my fear. My true fear is they're going to notice kind of the subversive, like not taking itself too serious thing, and pull a Cowboy Bebop on that shit.
Oh God.
Yeah, that show was awful.
Yeah. All right. You guys, anything you guys want to add? Video game adaptations?
I don't know if any in the works, right? Are there anyone
or any that you want that you think might be good if done right?
Okay, I know it's derivative, but I want to see Infamous. I know we got superhero fatigue, and I know it's basically the X-Men story, but I still want to fucking see it.
Yeah, hey, there you go. You know, that's what you want.
Well, come on, like, Brian, back me up on this. The story of the first game is so good.
Oh yeah, no, I love the first game is fucking amazing.
The first game is great.
I just don't know if they could do it right, you know. But it would be dope if done right. But I think that works as a movie. I think not like a TV series, which is.
I think it works as a long form TV series. I just think that like they need to kind of recognize where they went wrong after the first one.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You know,
like we got a great start of a story here, and then we kind of probably just need to diverge, because that's what Hollywood does anyway, right? They hook you in with the thing that you know, and then they're like, "No, we're going to do our own stuff."
Oh God!
Right? So like, just take the good part of Infamous, the first one, tell that, and then kind of build on that.
Yeah. All right. Let me see. Do we have any more? We do have another question here. Mighty Nerd. What do you guys think of King of Fighters 13 coming to PlayStation 4 and Switch? I had to look this up. This is why I was a little bit quiet during the last question. I'm like, didn't that game come out like fucking years ago?
It's old. Yeah.
Yeah. But I looked up the story.
14 now?
Yeah. No, they're on 15 now.
Oh, okay.
But I looked this up. This is from April 1st, 2023. Maybe it's a joke. It's got to be. Hold on. I think that's April Fool's, Mighty Nerd. If this story's from April 1st, 2023, it's got to be a fucking joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't make any sense. King of Fighters 13, I think that's a joke, dude.
I think they got you.
Yeah, I think they got you, man.
Yeah, King of Fighters 13. Why would they go back?
Yeah.
And also, that was the one with the broken netcode. Everybody hated that one.
Yeah. It's wow. I guess I'm watching a trailer for it now. This got to be fake, though. SNK official. There's no way this is fucking real. That's stupid.
Why bring that old one out? People like the new one.
Yeah.
There is a trailer posted on the official SNK YouTube of King of Fighters 13.
Oh. We got.
We no, this is a fucking joke. No fucking way. No fucking way. That's
It's very
stupid.
weird.
I'm watching until this to the end. That's no fucking way. 2023 early beta test for PS4 and Switch. That's bullshit. No way. It's a fake. You know.
It's a fake.
Mighty Nurse says re-release with rollback netcode.
Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? I can see why they did this one. This was the last 2D one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. I get why this one's
Oh,
coming
so
out.
they're re-releasing it. They fixed the netcode. All right.
Yeah. It's I you know what? I get why they're doing this.
You think this is real?
No, I think it's real. I think it's because it's the
Hey, game companies, don't announce games on April Fools, you fucking idiots.
Yeah.
I think the reason why they're they're doing 13 is just because it's it's the last of the 2D one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says
Global Match is called, yeah.
the pinnacle of 2D sprite based fighting is back. So in other words, yeah, what they're doing is they're essentially, re-releasing it because it's pretty much the last of the 2D the big company 2D fighters.
Yeah, look
From
at this.
the modern age.
Yeah, no, it's being reported on by legitimate sites too.
Yep. Okay.
Wow, okay.
I was thinking they were re-releasing that ugly one that came after.
Yeah, no, it's the nice looking one. I lost interest after that.
It was nice looking. It just had broken netcode. So
Yeah, maybe they'll get it right this time. Yeah. All right, cool. All right, people, we're done here. No Adam action tonight, but he's watching WrestleMania. It is what it is,
It just
man.
ended too.
Ooh yeah, WrestleMania.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we have nothing to plug, so we can just go right into the outro here. So make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Join the Discord where the conversations and the rumors are always popping. You can find us on any podcast app on Earth by searching for Throwdown Show. That's 2 words, Throwdown Show. Throwdownshow.com to listen to previous episodes. And if you've been watching us on YouTube and enjoyed the content, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of when our premieres go live. Links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Chris Seeley.
hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Brett Murdoch.
Deuces.
And Brian Manjoma.
Later, people.
All right, people, you already know. Thursday. Later.
Peace.
Jesus.
Latest.